This is Mental Forge, where weakness burns and warriors are built. Picture this scene from 1848. A man stands in the California wilderness, his clothes torn, his hands bleeding from digging in the rocky soil. Around him, thousands of other prospectors frantically search for gold, their eyes wild with desperation. But this man is different. While others dig with their hands, he sits quietly, closes his eyes, and begins to think, not about the gold beneath his feet, but about the gold within his mind. His name was James Marshall, and what he discovered that day wasn't just the spark that ignited the California gold rush. He discovered something far more valuable. He discovered that the richest mines aren't buried in the earth, they're buried in the human consciousness. What if I told you that every single dollar that will ever flow into your life already exists right now, waiting in the invisible realm of possibility, ready to materialize the moment you align your thoughts with the frequency of wealth? What if the only thing standing between you and unlimited abundance isn't your circumstances, your background, or your current bank account, but simply the way you think? Today, you're going to learn the most powerful secret that separates the wealthy from the struggling, the abundant from the lacking, the financially free from the financially trapped. You're going to discover how to think so rich that money becomes magnetically drawn to you like iron filings to a magnet. You're going to unlock the ancient wisdom that every millionaire and billionaire has used, consciously or unconsciously, to create their fortunes. And by the end of this experience together, you won't just understand these principles. You'll embody them. You'll become them. You'll live them. The transformation you're about to experience isn't just about making more money. It's about becoming a completely different person. A person who thinks differently, acts differently, and attracts different results. A person who operates from abundance instead of scarcity, from possibility instead of limitation, from faith instead of fear. A person who has rewired their subconscious mind so completely that wealth flows to them as naturally as water flows downhill. Let me share something that will shock you. According to neuroscience research, 95% of your daily thoughts are exactly the same as the thoughts you had yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. Your brain is literally running on autopilot, repeating the same mental patterns that have created your current financial reality. If you want different results, you must think different thoughts. If you want to attract money instantly, you must think rich instantly. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think that thinking rich means fantasizing about money, daydreaming about wealth, or simply hoping for a better financial future. That's not thinking rich. That's wishful thinking. True rich thinking is something entirely different. It's a complete rewiring of your mental operating system. It's developing what Napoleon Hill called a money consciousness, and what Wallace Wattles described as the certain way of thinking. The principles you're about to learn have been tested by thousands of successful individuals throughout history, from Andrew Carnegie, who started with nothing and became one of the richest men in America, to Oprah Winfrey, who transformed her thoughts about money and became a billionaire, from Henry Ford, who revolutionized industry with his wealth mindset, to Sarah Blakely, who turned a $5,000 idea into a billion-dollar empire by thinking differently about money. These aren't just theories or concepts. These are proven, scientific, psychological principles that work every single time they're properly applied. And when you apply them consistently, when you make them part of your daily mental diet, when you train your subconscious mind to operate from these new patterns, you'll start attracting money so quickly and consistently that it will seem almost magical. Let's begin with the foundational truth that changes everything. Your current financial reality is not determined by the economy, your education, your family background, or your current circumstances. Your financial reality is determined by one thing and one thing only: the predominant thoughts and beliefs that occupy your mind about money, wealth, success, and your own worthiness to receive abundance. Every thought you think creates a vibration. Every vibration attracts circumstances, people, and opportunities that match that frequency. When you think thoughts of lack, limitation, struggle, and scarcity, you're literally broadcasting a signal to the universe that says, "Send me more experiences of not having enough." When you think thoughts of abundance, wealth, success, and prosperity, you're broadcasting a signal that says, "Send me more experiences of having plenty." This isn't mystical nonsense. This is quantum physics. This is the law of attraction. This is how your reticular activating system works. Your brain is constantly filtering millions of pieces of information every second, and it only allows into your conscious awareness the information that matches your dominant beliefs and expectations. Change your beliefs about money, and you literally change what opportunities, ideas, and possibilities you become aware of. But changing your beliefs isn't enough. You must also change your identity. You must become someone who naturally, automatically, effortlessly thinks rich thoughts. You must develop what I call a wealth identity. This is who you are at your core, not just what you want to achieve. Let me tell you about John D. Rockefeller, one of history's wealthiest individuals. As a young man working as a bookkeeper, earning just $4 a week, Rockefeller didn't just dream about being wealthy. He thought like a wealthy person. He made decisions like a wealthy person. He carried himself like a wealthy person. Even when he had almost nothing, he was already rich in his mind. He would dress impeccably, speak with confidence, and treat every business transaction as if he were already the successful businessman he intended to become. His wealth mindset preceded his wealth by years, and it was this mental foundation that allowed him to build Standard Oil and become America's first billionaire. The same principle applies to you. Right now, today, you must begin thinking, acting, and being the wealthy person you're becoming. You can't wait until you have money to think rich. You must think rich to have money. This is the fundamental shift that transforms everything. Now, let me give you the specific tools and techniques that will rewire your subconscious mind for wealth attraction. These are the daily practices that will transform your mental programming from poverty consciousness to prosperity consciousness. First, you must master the art of wealth visualization. But this isn't just daydreaming. This is scientific mental rehearsal. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you look at your bank account, before you allow the outside world to influence your inner world, you must spend at least 10 minutes visualizing your ideal financial life with absolute clarity and emotional intensity. See yourself checking your bank account and feeling genuine joy and gratitude at the numbers you see. Visualize making financial decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Imagine the feeling of never having to worry about money again. Picture yourself being generous with others because you have more than enough. Feel the confidence that comes from financial security. Experience the freedom that wealth provides. But here's the crucial part. You must feel these emotions as if your visualization is already your reality. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real experience. When you visualize with enough emotion and clarity, you're literally programming your subconscious to seek out and attract the experiences that match your mental images. Scientists have discovered that when you visualize performing an action, your brain fires the same neural pathways as when you actually perform that action. Professional athletes use this principle to improve their performance. Olympic competitors visualize their routines hundreds of times before competition. You must become an Olympic-level visualizer of your wealthy life. Second, you must completely transform your internal dialogue about money. Right now, pay attention to the thoughts that automatically run through your mind when you think about money, bills, expenses, or your financial future. Are these thoughts empowering or disempowering? Are they expanding your possibilities or contracting them? Are they moving you toward wealth or away from it? Most people have been unconsciously programmed with poverty thoughts. Thoughts like, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. Money is the root of all evil. I'm not good with money. I'll never be wealthy. There's not enough to go around. These thoughts are literally repelling money from your life. You must consciously replace every poverty thought with a wealth thought. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't afford this, immediately replace it with, how can I afford this? When you think, I don't have enough money, replace it with, money flows to me easily and effortlessly. When you think, I'm not good with money, replace it with, I am becoming more financially intelligent every day. This isn't positive thinking. This is mental discipline. This is training your mind like a muscle. Just as you wouldn't expect to develop physical strength by going to the gym once, you can't expect to develop mental wealth strength without consistent daily practice. Let me share the story of Mary Kay Ash, founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics. She grew up in poverty during the Great Depression, watching her mother struggle to make ends meet. The poverty thoughts were deeply ingrained in her subconscious. But Mary Kay made a decision to think differently. Every day, she would affirm, I can do it. I am worthy of success. I deserve to be wealthy. She replaced every limiting belief with an empowering belief. She transformed her internal dialogue so completely that she went from being a struggling single mother to building a cosmetics empire worth billions of dollars. Your internal dialogue is either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. Make it your asset by consciously choosing thoughts that align with the wealthy person you're becoming. Third, you must develop what wealthy people call abundance consciousness. This means training yourself to see opportunity everywhere, to focus on possibilities instead of problems, to look for ways to create value instead of ways to save pennies. Abundance consciousness means operating from the assumption that there is more than enough money, more than enough opportunity, more than enough success for everyone, including you. Scarcity consciousness, which is how most people think, sees competition instead of collaboration, problems instead of possibilities, limitations instead of opportunities. Scarcity consciousness says, if someone else succeeds, there's less success for me. Abundance consciousness says, when others succeed, it proves that success is possible and their success can inspire and teach me. Practice seeing abundance everywhere. Notice how much money flows through the economy every single day. Walk through an expensive neighborhood, and instead of feeling envious or resentful, feel excited and inspired. Look at successful businesses, and instead of thinking, I could never do that, think, if they can do it, I can do it too. Watch wealthy people, and instead of judging them, study them. Learn from them. Model their mindsets and behaviors. The more you focus on abundance, the more abundant you become. The more you focus on scarcity, the more scarce your life becomes. Your focus determines your reality. Fourth, you must master the principle of acting as if. This means behaving as if you're already the wealthy person you're becoming, even before the external evidence appears. This doesn't mean spending money you don't have or living beyond your means. It means embodying the confidence, the decision-making ability, the standards, and the mindset of a wealthy person. Wealthy people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Poor people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. Wealthy people invest in their education and personal development. Poor people think they can't afford to learn. Wealthy people surround themselves with other successful people. Poor people surround themselves with complainers and excuse makers. Wealthy people take responsibility for their results. Poor people blame circumstances. Start acting as if right now. Dress like the successful person you're becoming. Speak like the confident person you're becoming. Make decisions like the wealthy person you're becoming. Carry yourself with the posture and presence of someone who has already achieved their financial goals. Thomas Edison is a perfect example of acting as if. When he was working on inventing the light bulb, he failed over 10,000 times. But Edison never saw these as failures. He saw them as 10,000 ways that didn't work, bringing him closer to the way that would work. He acted as if success was inevitable, not possible. He acted as if he was already the successful inventor he intended to become. This mindset allowed him to persist through all obstacles and ultimately create over 1,000 patents and countless innovations that made him wealthy beyond measure. Fifth, you must understand and apply the principle of contribution and value creation. Money is simply a representation of value. The more value you create for others, the more money flows to you. But here's what most people miss. You must first think valuable thoughts before you can create valuable results. Wealthy people don't think about what they can get. They think about what they can give. They don't ask, how can I make money? They ask, how can I solve problems? How can I serve people? How can I make other people's lives better? Anyone. When you shift your focus from getting to giving, from taking to contributing, from serving yourself to serving others, money flows to you naturally and effortlessly. Andrew Carnegie, who became one of the wealthiest men in history, understood this principle perfectly. He didn't focus on making money. He focused on solving the problem of how to mass-produce steel efficiently and affordably. By solving this problem, he created enormous value for society, and money flowed to him as a natural result. Carnegie once said, "The way to become rich is to put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket." But what he meant was to focus intensely on creating value in one area until you master it completely. Start thinking about how you can create more value in your current situation. How can you solve problems at your job? How can you serve your customers better? How can you help other people achieve their goals? How can you make other people's lives easier, better, more enjoyable? The more value you create, the more valuable you become. The more valuable you become, the more money you attract. Now, I want to share with you one of the most powerful wealth attraction techniques ever discovered. It's called the gratitude multiplier effect. Gratitude is not just a nice spiritual practice. Gratitude is a wealth magnet. When you're genuinely grateful for the money you have, even if it's not much, you're sending a signal to the universe that says, "I appreciate abundance, send me more." When you complain about your financial situation, you're sending a signal that says, "I don't appreciate what I have, don't send me more." But most people have this backwards. They think they'll be grateful when they have more money. Wealthy people are grateful first, and then they receive more money. Gratitude is the cause, not the effect. Gratitude is the foundation, not the result. Every single day, write down at least 5 things you're grateful for regarding your financial life. Be grateful for the money you have, even if it's just a few dollars. Be grateful for your ability to earn money. Be grateful for the opportunities around you. Be grateful for your health that allows you to work. Be grateful for your intelligence that allows you to learn and grow. Be grateful for the roof over your head and the food in your refrigerator. The more grateful you become, the more you'll have to be grateful for. This isn't just philosophy. This is neuroscience. Gratitude activates the production of dopamine and serotonin in your brain, which makes you more creative, more motivated, more confident, and more attractive to opportunities and people who can help you succeed. Sara Blakely, founder of Spanx, credits much of her success to daily gratitude practice. Even when she was cutting up pantyhose at her kitchen table, trying to create her first product prototype, she was grateful for the opportunity to pursue her dream. She was grateful for her small apartment. She was grateful for her savings that allowed her to invest in her idea. This gratitude mindset attracted the people, resources, and opportunities that helped her build a billion-dollar company. If you want to join the thousands of others who are transforming their financial lives through these principles, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of people who are committed to thinking differently, acting differently, and creating different results. Your subscription helps us reach more people with these life-changing ideas. Let me tell you about another crucial principle that wealthy people understand: the power of definite purpose. You cannot attract money without a clear, specific, compelling reason for wanting it. Vague desires produce vague results. Definite purposes produce definite results. Most people say they want more money, but they don't know exactly how much they want, when they want it by, or what they're going to do with it once they get it. This vagueness creates confusion in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious needs clear, specific instructions to guide your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward your financial goals. Right now, decide exactly how much money you want to earn in the next 12 months. Write it down. Be specific. Not more money or a lot of money, but an exact amount. Then decide what you're going to give in return for this money. What value will you create? What problems will you solve? What services will you provide? What skills will you develop? Money doesn't come from hoping. Money comes from value creation. Then, Decide when you want to achieve this goal. Set a definite deadline. Your subconscious mind works much more effectively when it has a specific target and time frame. Finally, write down exactly what you're going to do with this money once you earn it. How will it improve your life? How will it allow you to help others? What experiences will it create? What freedom will it provide? This is called creating a definite chief aim, and it's one of the most powerful wealth attraction tools ever discovered. Napoleon Hill studied over 500 wealthy individuals and found that every single one of them had developed a definite chief aim related to their financial success. Henry Ford's definite chief aim was to create an affordable automobile that every working person could own. This clear purpose guided every decision he made, every innovation he pursued, every challenge he overcame. His definite chief aim made him one of the wealthiest men of his era and revolutionized transportation forever. Walt Disney's definite chief aim was to create the happiest place on earth where families could experience magic together. This clear purpose sustained him through years of financial struggle, business failures, and criticism from people who said his ideas were impossible. His definite chief aim ultimately created an entertainment empire worth billions of dollars. Your definite chief aim becomes like a powerful magnet that attracts everything necessary for its achievement. Ideas, opportunities, people, resources, knowledge, and circumstances will begin flowing into your life in ways that seem almost miraculous. But here's what you must understand. Having a definite chief aim is not enough. You must also develop the mental and emotional habits that support its achievement. You must think about your goal every day. You must feel the emotions of already having achieved it. You must make decisions that align with its accomplishment. You must act as if its achievement is inevitable, not just possible. This brings us to one of the most important principles of wealth attraction, the principle of persistent, consistent action. Thinking rich thoughts is essential, but thinking alone is not enough. You must combine rich thinking with intelligent action. You must become a person who not only thinks like a wealthy person but acts like a wealthy person. Wealthy people have developed what I call the discipline of daily progress. Every single day, without exception, they take at least one action that moves them closer to their financial goals. It might be a small action, but it's consistent. They make one phone call, they send one email, they read one chapter, they have one conversation, they create one piece of content, they learn one new skill. Poor people take massive action when they feel motivated, and no action when they don't feel motivated. Wealthy people take consistent action regardless of how they feel. They understand that motivation is unreliable, but habits are reliable. They've developed the habit of daily progress, and this habit compounds over time to create extraordinary results. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, explains how small, consistent actions compound over time to create remarkable results. If you improve by just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. If you get worse by just 1% every day, you'll decline nearly to zero by the end of the year. Small actions, repeated consistently, create massive results. The same principle applies to wealth building. Small, consistent actions toward your financial goals compound over time to create extraordinary wealth. Reading 10 pages of a financial book every day doesn't seem like much, but over a year, you'll have read over 3,600 pages of wealth-building knowledge. Saving $5 a day doesn't seem like much, but over time, with compound interest, it becomes a substantial sum. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's better to take one small action every day than to take massive action once a week. Your subconscious mind interprets consistent action as evidence that you're serious about your goals. This causes it to work more effectively on your behalf, generating ideas, opportunities, and solutions that support your success. Now let me share with you the most powerful wealth-building habit you can develop: the habit of daily learning. Wealthy people are lifetime learners. They understand that your income can only grow to the extent that you grow. They invest more money in their education than in entertainment. They spend more time reading books than watching television. They listen to podcasts instead of music. They attend seminars instead of sporting events. The average CEO reads over 60 books per year. The average American reads less than 1 book per year. Bill Gates reads over 50 books per year. Warren Buffett spends 8 hours per day reading. Elon Musk credits his success largely to his voracious reading habits. These individuals understand that knowledge is the new money. In today's economy, information is the most valuable commodity. The more you know, the more you can earn. The more skills you develop, the more valuable you become. The more problems you can solve, the more money flows to you. But here's what most people don't understand. You must learn the right information. You must develop the right skills. You must solve the right problems. Learning random information won't make you wealthy. You must strategically focus your learning on knowledge and skills that directly contribute to wealth creation. Study successful people in your field. Learn from their mistakes so you don't have to make them yourself. Learn from their successes so you can model their strategies. Read biographies of wealthy individuals. Study their mindsets, their habits, their decision-making processes. Learn about money, investing, business, sales, marketing, leadership, and personal development. The more you invest in your mind, the greater returns your mind will generate for you. Your mind is the most profitable investment you'll ever make. Let me tell you about Oprah Winfrey's incredible transformation from poverty to billions. She was born into extreme poverty, experienced trauma and abuse, and had every excuse to remain stuck in limitation. But Oprah made a decision that changed everything. She decided to invest in her mind. She read voraciously. She studied successful people. She developed her communication skills. She learned about business and investing. She grew herself into the person who could attract and manage enormous wealth. Oprah once said, "The biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams." But she understood that living the life of your dreams requires becoming the person capable of creating and sustaining that life. She didn't wait for opportunities. She created opportunities by developing herself into an opportunity magnet. The same transformation is available to you, but it requires the same commitment to growth, the same dedication to learning, the same willingness to invest in yourself that Oprah and other successful people have demonstrated. Here's another crucial principle that separates wealthy people from poor people. Wealthy people make friends with money. Poor people have an adversarial relationship with money. They see money as scarce, difficult to obtain, hard to keep, and the source of problems. Wealthy people see money as abundant, easy to attract, simple to manage, and the solution to problems. Your relationship with money determines how much money you attract and keep. If you have negative feelings about money, you'll unconsciously repel it from your life. If you have positive feelings about money, you'll naturally attract it into your life. Many people have been programmed to believe that money is somehow bad or evil, that wealthy people are greedy or immoral, that wanting money is shallow or materialistic. These beliefs create internal conflict that prevents wealth attraction. You cannot attract something you judge or resent. Money is simply a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or bad purposes. A hammer can be used to build a house or to hurt someone. Money can be used to help people or to harm people. The tool is neutral. The person using the tool determines its impact. Wealthy people understand that money amplifies who you are. If you're a good person, money makes you better able to do good things. If you're a generous person, money makes you more generous. If you're a caring person, money gives you more resources to care for others. Start developing a loving relationship with money. Be grateful when you receive it. Treat it with respect when you handle it. Think of it as a friend that helps you achieve your goals and serve others. Thank money when it comes to you and bless it when it leaves you. This might sound strange, but your emotional relationship with money dramatically affects how much of it flows through your life. I want to share the story of John Jacob Astor, America's first multimillionaire. Astor immigrated to America with almost nothing, but he had something more valuable than money. He had the right relationship with money. While other people feared economic downturns, Astor saw opportunities. While others hoarded money, Astor invested it. While others complained about financial challenges, Astor found ways to profit from them. Astor understood that money flows toward people who understand its nature and respect its power. He treated money as an ally, not an enemy. He made decisions that were good for his money, knowing that what was good for his money would ultimately be good for him. This mindset helped him build a fortune that was unprecedented in American history. Now let me teach you about the wealth habit that creates the fastest results. The habit of making quick, confident decisions. Poor people agonize over decisions, especially financial decisions. They analyze every possibility, consider every risk, and often end up paralyzed by indecision. Meanwhile, opportunities pass them by. Wealthy people make decisions quickly and confidently, even with incomplete information. They understand that perfect information doesn't exist, and waiting for certainty is a luxury they can't afford. They make the best decision they can with the information they have, and then they adjust course as new information becomes available. This doesn't mean wealthy people are reckless. It means they've developed the confidence and judgment to make good decisions quickly. They trust their instincts, they've educated themselves well enough to make informed choices, and they understand that making a less than perfect decision is usually better than making no decision at all. The speed of your decisions determines the speed of your success. The longer you take to make decisions, the slower your progress toward wealth. The quicker you make good decisions, the faster money flows to you. Practice making decisions quickly in low-risk situations. What to wear, what to eat, what route to take, what book to read. Train your decision-making muscle so that when high-stakes opportunities arise, you can act swiftly and confidently. Remember, every moment you spend in indecision is a moment you're not moving toward your goals. Every opportunity you miss while deliberating is an opportunity that goes to someone else who is ready to act. Colonel Sanders, founder of KFC, is a perfect example of quick decision-making creating wealth. When Sanders was 65 years old, most people would be thinking about retirement. But when his restaurant business failed, Sanders made a quick decision. He would franchise his chicken recipe. He didn't spend months or years analyzing the market. He got in his car and started pitching his idea to restaurant owners. He was rejected over 1,000 times, but he kept making quick decisions to continue, to adjust his approach, to find new prospects. His quick decision-making ultimately created a global empire worth billions. Let's talk about another principle that's absolutely crucial for wealth attraction: the principle of multiple income streams. Poor people rely on one source of income, usually their job. Wealthy people create multiple streams of income from various sources. They understand that relying on one income source is risky and limits their earning potential. The average millionaire has 7 different sources of income. They might have income from their business, rental properties, stock dividends, royalties, partnerships, and investments. This diversification not only increases their total income, but also provides security if one income stream is interrupted. But here's what's important. You don't need to be wealthy to start creating multiple income streams. You can start right now, from wherever you are, with whatever resources you have. You can start a side business. You can invest in stocks or real estate. You can create and sell information products. You can freelance your skills. You can develop passive income sources. The key is to start thinking like someone who has multiple income streams. Start looking for opportunities to create value in different ways. Start developing skills that can be monetized in various forms. Start thinking beyond your job as your only source of income. Every wealthy person started with their first additional income stream. They didn't wait until they had extra money to invest. They created extra money by creating additional value. Then they used that extra money to create more income streams, and so on, until they had built a diverse portfolio of income sources. This is called the multiplication effect. One income stream becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on. Each new income stream makes it easier to create the next one because you have more resources, more knowledge, more confidence, and more connections. Here's a principle that will accelerate your wealth building faster than almost anything else: the principle of modeling success. Instead of trying to figure out how to become wealthy on your own, find people who have already achieved the level of wealth you want and study everything about how they think, what they do, and how they operate. Success leaves clues. Wealthy people follow predictable patterns. They have similar mindsets, similar habits, similar strategies, and similar approaches to money, business, and life. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can model what already works. Find wealthy people in your field or in fields that interest you. Read their books, watch their interviews, study their biographies, attend their seminars. If possible, find ways to meet them or work with them. Learn from their successes and their failures. But here's the important part. Don't just learn what they did. Learn how they think. Strategies and tactics can become outdated, but mindsets and principles are timeless. Focus on understanding their mental models, their decision-making processes, their relationship with money, and their approach to problems and opportunities. Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's, is a perfect example of modeling success. Kroc didn't invent the hamburger. He didn't even invent the McDonald's restaurant concept. The McDonald brothers had already created a successful restaurant, but Kroc saw the potential to model their success and replicate it thousands of times. He studied their system, improved it, and then duplicated it across the world. His ability to model and multiply success made him wealthy beyond measure and created one of the most valuable brands in history. You can do the same thing. Find success models in your area of interest. Study them intensively. Model their approaches. Adapt their strategies to your situation. Success modeling can compress decades of trial and error into months or years of focused learning and application. Now I want to share with you one of the most powerful psychological techniques for wealth attraction. The technique of future memory creation. This involves creating such vivid, emotionally charged mental pictures of your wealthy future that your subconscious mind begins to treat them as actual memories rather than fantasies. Here's how it works. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a real memory and a vividly imagined experience. When you create detailed mental movies of your successful future, complete with all the sensory details and emotions, your subconscious begins to work toward making these memories into reality. Spend time each day creating detailed mental movies of your wealthy life. Don't just see yourself having money. Experience yourself living the life that money provides. Feel the emotions of financial freedom. Hear the conversations you'll have. Smell the environment you'll be in. Taste the food you'll enjoy. Touch the materials and objects in your wealthy life. Make these mental movies so real and so detailed that they feel like memories of experiences you've already had. Your subconscious will begin to guide your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward making these memories match your reality. This technique has been used by Olympic athletes for decades. They create such detailed mental rehearsals of their perfect performance that their bodies begin to respond as if they've already achieved it. The same principle applies to wealth creation. Create such detailed mental rehearsals of your wealthy life that your mind begins to respond as if you've already achieved it. The more real these future memories feel, the more powerfully they'll influence your present thoughts and actions. Your subconscious will start noticing opportunities, generating ideas, and attracting people and circumstances that align with your mental movies. Let me share the story of Jim Carrey, who used this exact technique to become one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood. When Carrey was struggling as a young comedian, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. He carried this check in his wallet and would look at it regularly, visualizing himself earning that amount of money for his acting. But Carrey didn't just write the check and hope. He created detailed mental movies of himself as a successful actor. He visualized walking on red carpets, receiving standing ovations, earning millions of dollars per movie. He made these visualizations so real and so emotionally charged that they felt like memories of experiences he'd already had. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, Carrey learned that he would earn $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. His future memory had become his reality. But it wasn't magic. It was the power of a properly programmed subconscious mind working to create circumstances that matched his mental programming. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked aspects of wealth building: the importance of physical health and energy. Your physical condition directly affects your mental performance, your decision-making ability, your confidence, and your capacity to take the actions necessary for wealth creation. Wealthy people understand that their body is their most important asset. They invest in their health through proper nutrition, regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management. They know that a healthy body supports a healthy mind, and a healthy mind creates healthy bank accounts. When you feel good physically, you think more clearly. You have more energy to pursue opportunities. You have more confidence in social and business situations. You have more stamina to work on your goals consistently. You have more resilience to bounce back from setbacks. Poor physical health creates poor mental performance, which creates poor decisions, which creates poor results. If you want to think rich and attract wealth, you must fuel your body and brain with the nutrition and exercise they need to perform optimally. Start treating your body like the valuable asset it is. Eat foods that increase your energy and mental clarity. Exercise regularly to improve your physical and mental stamina. Get enough sleep to allow your mind to process and integrate new learning. Manage stress through meditation, deep breathing, or other relaxation techniques. The money you invest in your health will return to you many times over through increased earning capacity, better decision-making, and greater overall life satisfaction. Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group and one of Britain's most successful entrepreneurs, credits much of his success to his commitment to physical fitness. Despite running hundreds of companies worth billions of dollars, Branson makes time for regular exercise, healthy eating, and adventure sports. He says that staying physically fit gives him the mental energy and clarity needed to make the decisions that create and maintain his wealth. Your body and your bank account are more connected than you might think. Take care of one, and you'll see improvements in the other. Now let me share with you one of the most advanced wealth attraction principles, the principle of energy management. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Money is energy. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. Your actions are energy. When your energy is aligned with the frequency of wealth, you naturally attract wealth into your life. High-energy people attract high-energy results. Low-energy people attract low-energy results. Wealthy people have learned to manage their energy so that they consistently operate at frequencies that attract success, opportunities, and abundance. This means being very selective about what you allow into your mental and emotional environment. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, the conversations you participate in, the environments you frequent all affect your energy level and your vibrational frequency. Wealthy people surround themselves with positive, successful, growth-oriented people who elevate their energy and expand their thinking. They consume information that educates, inspires, and motivates them. They engage in conversations about possibilities, opportunities, and solutions rather than problems, limitations, and complaints. Poor people often surround themselves with negative, unsuccessful, limitation-focused people who drain their energy and contract their thinking. They consume information that entertains, distracts, and numbs them. They engage in conversations about problems, gossip, and complaints rather than solutions, opportunities, and growth. Your energy is your most valuable resource. Protect it carefully, invest it wisely, use it strategically. The people and activities that increase your energy move you toward wealth. The people and activities that decrease your energy move you away from wealth. Start conducting an energy audit of your life. Which people leave you feeling energized and inspired? Spend more time with them. Which people leave you feeling drained and discouraged? Spend less time with them. Which activities increase your energy and motivation? Do more of them. Which activities decrease your energy and motivation? Do less of them. This isn't selfish. This is strategic. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot create wealth if you're operating from a low-energy, depleted state. You must first fill your own cup before you can pour into others. Let me tell you about Steve Jobs and his obsessive attention to energy management. Jobs was famous for his intense focus on creating products and environments that generated positive energy. He understood that the energy of his team, his products, and his company directly affected their success in the marketplace. Jobs would spend enormous amounts of time and money creating work environments that inspired creativity and innovation. He insisted on the highest quality in every detail because he knew that excellence in small things created energy for excellence in big things. He surrounded himself with the most talented, passionate, energetic people he could find because he understood that energy is contagious. This attention to energy management helped Apple become one of the most valuable companies in the world. The same principles apply to your personal wealth building. Manage your energy like the precious resource it is, and you'll see dramatic improvements in your results. Here's another crucial principle that most people completely miss: the principle of wealth timing. There are seasons for planting and seasons for harvesting. There are times to save and times to spend. There are times to be conservative and times to be aggressive. There are times to learn and times to earn. Wealthy people understand these cycles and align their actions accordingly. They plant seeds during planting season and harvest crops during harvest season. They don't try to harvest when they should be planting, and they don't plant when they should be harvesting. Right now, you need to honestly assess which season you're in. If you're just beginning your wealth journey, you're probably in planting season. This means focusing on learning, skill development, relationship building, and creating value, rather than expecting immediate large financial returns. If you've been developing yourself and your skills for a while, you might be in growing season. This means taking more risks, making bigger investments, expanding your activities, and scaling up your value creation. If you've been consistently creating value and building wealth, you might be in harvest season. This means collecting the returns on your investments, enjoying the fruits of your labor, and helping others who are in earlier seasons of their journey. Understanding your season prevents frustration and helps you take appropriate actions. Many people fail because they try to harvest before they've planted enough seeds. They expect immediate returns without making adequate investments in their education, skills, and value creation capacity. Be patient with the process. Trust the timing. Plant seeds consistently during planting season. Tend them carefully during growing season, and harvest abundantly when the time is right. Warren Buffett is a master of wealth timing. He plants seeds by investing in undervalued companies during economic downturns when others are selling in panic. He tends these investments patiently, sometimes for decades, while the companies grow and mature. Then he harvests by selling at enormous profits when the market recognizes the value he saw years earlier. Buffett's incredible wealth didn't come from trying to get rich quickly. It came from understanding the seasons of wealth building and aligning his actions with natural timing cycles. Now let me share with you the most important daily ritual for wealth attraction: the ritual of written goal setting and daily review. This isn't just writing down what you want. This is creating a daily practice that programs your subconscious mind for wealth attraction and keeps your conscious mind focused on wealth-building activities. Every morning, write down your financial goals as if you've already achieved them. Don't write, "I want to earn $100,000 this year." Write, "I am so grateful that I now earn $100,000 per year through creating enormous value for my clients." Don't write, "I hope to be wealthy someday." Write, "I am wealthy, abundant, and financially free, and I use my wealth to create positive impact in the world." Writing your goals in present tense and with gratitude tricks your subconscious mind into believing these goals are already your reality. Your subconscious then works to make your external reality match your internal programming. But writing your goals once isn't enough. You must read them and rewrite them every single day. This daily repetition creates what psychologists call the primacy and recency effects. The information you expose your mind to, first thing in the morning and last thing at night, has the greatest impact on your subconscious programming. Every evening, review your day and write down your progress toward your financial goals. What actions did you take? What did you learn? What opportunities did you notice? What improvements will you make tomorrow? This daily review keeps your goals alive in your consciousness and ensures continuous progress toward their achievement. This ritual might seem simple, but its power is extraordinary. When you program your subconscious mind with clear, specific, emotionally charged financial goals every day, you activate what psychologists call the reticular activating system. This is the part of your brain that filters information and determines what enters your conscious awareness. When your financial goals are clearly programmed in your subconscious, your RAS starts noticing opportunities, ideas, people, and resources that can help you achieve those goals. Information that was always there, but previously invisible, suddenly becomes obvious. Opportunities that were always available, but previously unnoticed, suddenly become apparent. This is how goal-focused people seem to have amazing luck. They don't have better luck, they have better awareness. Their subconscious minds are programmed to notice the things that matter for their success. Tony Robbins has used this exact ritual to build a multi-hundred-million-dollar empire. Every morning, Robbins writes down his goals and visualizes their achievement. Every evening, he reviews his progress and plans his next day's actions. This daily ritual has kept him focused and motivated through decades of business building and has helped him become one of the wealthiest and most influential personal development experts in the world. If you want to stay connected with our community of wealth builders and continue learning these powerful principles, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We're constantly sharing new strategies, success stories, and insights that can accelerate your journey to financial freedom. Let's talk about one of the most powerful but least understood aspects of wealth building: the importance of financial education. Most people spend 12 to 16 years in school, but never learn anything about money, investing, business, or wealth building. They graduate knowing how to work for money, but not how to make money work for them. Wealthy people understand that financial education is the foundation of financial success. They study money like doctors study medicine. They learn about investing like engineers learn about technology. They understand business like athletes understand their sport. Financial education isn't just about learning facts and figures. It's about developing what Robert Kiyosaki calls financial intelligence. This includes understanding how money works, how to evaluate investments, how to calculate risks and returns, how to read financial statements, how to understand market cycles, and how to make money-related decisions that create wealth rather than debt. The more financially intelligent you become, the more money-making opportunities you'll recognize. The better you understand money, the better money will treat you. Financial intelligence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start studying money systematically. Read books about investing, business, economics, and wealth building. Take courses on financial topics. Listen to podcasts by successful investors and entrepreneurs. Follow the financial news and learn to understand what economic trends mean for your wealth building. But don't just learn theory. Apply what you learn. Start investing small amounts while you're learning so you gain practical experience. Start a side business to learn about entrepreneurship. Track your expenses to learn about money management. The combination of theoretical knowledge and practical experience creates true financial intelligence. Consider the story of Benjamin Franklin, one of America's founding fathers and also one of its most successful businessmen. Franklin understood that knowledge was the key to wealth. He was constantly reading, learning, and experimenting with new ideas. He started the first lending library in America because he believed that access to knowledge would help people improve their financial situations. Franklin applied his learning in practical ways. He started a printing business, invested in real estate, created insurance companies, and developed multiple income streams. By the time of his death, Franklin had accumulated wealth equivalent to tens of millions in today's dollars, all because he understood that financial education was the foundation of financial success. Your financial education is an investment that pays dividends for the rest of your life. Every hour you spend learning about money is an hour that can potentially earn you thousands or even millions of dollars over your lifetime. Now let me share with you one of the most counterintuitive principles of wealth building, the principle of calculated risk-taking. Poor people avoid all risks and end up with the biggest risk of all, the risk of never having enough money. Wealthy people take calculated risks and minimize their overall risk by creating multiple income streams and building substantial assets. The key word here is calculated. Wealthy people don't take foolish risks or gamble with money they can't afford to lose, But they do take intelligent risks when the potential rewards justify the potential losses. They understand that not taking risks is often riskier than taking well-calculated risks. Every investment carries risk. Every business venture carries risk. Every career move carries risk. But not investing, not starting a business, and not advancing your career also carry risks. The risk of inflation eroding your savings. The risk of economic changes making your skills obsolete. The risk of being dependent on others for your financial security. Wealthy people learn to evaluate risks intelligently and take the risks that offer the best risk-to-reward ratios. They diversify their risks across multiple investments and ventures so that if one doesn't work out, others can compensate. They educate themselves thoroughly before taking risks so they can make informed decisions. Start developing your risk assessment skills. Learn to evaluate potential investments and opportunities objectively. Don't let fear prevent you from taking intelligent risks, but don't let greed cause you to take foolish risks. The goal is to take calculated risks that have the potential to significantly improve your financial situation. Remember, the biggest risk is not taking any risks at all. In a rapidly changing economy, playing it safe is actually the most dangerous strategy. The people who build wealth are the people who learn to take intelligent risks at the right time with the right information. Jeff Bezos exemplifies intelligent risk-taking. When Bezos left his high-paying job on Wall Street to start Amazon, many people thought he was making a foolish decision. But Bezos had calculated the risks carefully. He had identified the opportunity in online retail. He had developed a business plan. He had secured initial funding. He had set criteria for success and failure. Most importantly, Bezos used what he called the regret minimization framework. He imagined himself at 80 years old looking back on his decision. He realized he would regret not trying more than he would regret trying and failing. This perspective helped him take the calculated risk that ultimately made him one of the wealthiest people in human history. Let's discuss another crucial aspect of wealth building: the importance of building and maintaining excellent credit. Your credit score is like a financial report card that affects your ability to borrow money, the interest rates you pay, and even your employment opportunities in some cases. Wealthy people understand that good credit is a tool that can accelerate wealth building. Good credit allows you to borrow money at low interest rates to invest in assets that appreciate faster than the cost of borrowing. Good credit can help you buy real estate with small down payments, start businesses with borrowed capital, and take advantage of investment opportunities that require leverage. Poor people often have bad credit, which prevents them from accessing the tools they need to build wealth. Bad credit means higher interest rates, larger down payments, and fewer opportunities to use other people's money to create wealth. Building good credit requires discipline, planning, and consistency. Pay all your bills on time. Keep your credit card balances low relative to your credit limits. Don't close old credit cards unless they have annual fees. Monitor your credit reports regularly and dispute any errors immediately. But here's what's crucial. Don't just build good credit for its own sake. Build good credit so you can use it strategically to acquire assets that build wealth. The goal isn't to borrow money to buy liabilities like expensive cars or luxury items. The goal is to borrow money at low rates to invest in assets like real estate or business equipment that generate income and appreciate in value. Good credit is like having a financial superpower. It allows you to multiply your investment capacity and accelerate your wealth building. But like any superpower, it must be used wisely and responsibly. Here's a principle that can dramatically accelerate your wealth building: the principle of value-based pricing. Instead of selling your time for money, learn to sell results for money. Instead of being paid for how many hours you work, learn to be paid for how much value you create. Most people trade time for money in what Robert Kiyosaki calls the rat race. They sell their time to employers in exchange for salaries or wages, but there are only 24 hours in a day, so their earning potential is limited by time constraints. Wealthy people learn to decouple their income from their time. They create products, services, and systems that generate income even when they're not actively working. They focus on creating value rather than consuming time. They develop skills and knowledge that allow them to solve expensive problems for other people. Start thinking about how you can create value that isn't directly tied to your time. Can you create information products that teach others what you know? Can you develop systems that solve problems more efficiently? Can you build a team that delivers value while you focus on higher-level activities? Can you invest in assets that generate passive income? The transition from time-based income to value-based income is one of the most important shifts you can make in your wealth-building journey. It's the difference between working in your business and working on your business. It's the difference between being self-employed and being an entrepreneur. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen faster than you think if you approach it strategically. Start by identifying the highest value activities in your current work. Focus more time on those activities and less time on low-value activities. Look for ways to automate, delegate, or eliminate tasks that don't directly contribute to value creation. Mark Cuban started his entrepreneurial journey by identifying inefficiencies in the computer retail business and creating systems to solve them more effectively. He didn't just work harder than his competitors, he worked smarter. He created value-based solutions that generated income even when he wasn't personally involved in every transaction. This approach helped him build and sell companies worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Now let me share one of the most important psychological principles for sustaining wealth once you create it. The principle of abundance mentality in all areas of life. Many people can create wealth, but struggle to keep it because they revert to scarcity thinking once they achieve some success. Wealthy people maintain abundance mentality, not just about money, but about everything. They believe there are abundant opportunities, abundant customers, abundant partners, abundant solutions, and abundant possibilities. This mentality keeps them growing, expanding, and creating even more wealth. Scarcity mentality, on the other hand, causes people to hoard rather than invest, to compete rather than collaborate, to fear loss rather than expect gain. Scarcity mentality creates the very limitations it fears. Practice abundance mentality in all your interactions. Be generous with your knowledge, your connections, your encouragement, and your support. Look for ways to help others succeed, knowing that their success doesn't diminish your potential for success. Share information freely, make introductions willingly, and celebrate other people's achievements genuinely. The more you operate from abundance mentality, the more abundance you'll experience. The universe seems to reward generous people with more opportunities to be generous. Wealthy people understand this principle and apply it consistently. Andrew Carnegie demonstrated abundance mentality throughout his business career and especially in his philanthropy. Carnegie didn't just accumulate wealth, he shared it abundantly. He built over 2,500 libraries around the world because he believed that knowledge should be abundant and accessible to everyone. His abundance mentality with knowledge and resources created a legacy that continues to benefit millions of people more than a century after his death. As we near the end of our journey together, I want to share with you the most important principle of all, the principle of persistent faith. Wealth building is not just a financial journey. It's a spiritual and emotional journey that will test your belief in yourself, your confidence in your abilities, and your faith in the process. There will be times when nothing seems to be working. There will be setbacks, failures, and disappointments. There will be people who doubt you and circumstances that challenge you. In these moments, your faith will be your most valuable asset. Faith is not blind optimism. Faith is confident expectation based on consistent action toward worthy goals. Faith is the ability to see the invisible, believe the impossible, and achieve the incredible. Faith is what sustains you during the inevitable challenges of wealth building. Every wealthy person has experienced periods of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. What separates those who succeed from those who quit is their ability to maintain faith during difficult times. They understand that challenges are temporary, but character is permanent. They know that setbacks are setups for comebacks. They believe that persistence and faith eventually overcome all obstacles. Develop unshakable faith in yourself and your ability to create wealth. Base this faith not on wishful thinking, but on consistent daily actions toward your goals. Every day that you take positive action toward wealth building, you're building evidence that supports your faith. Every day that you learn something new, you're increasing your capacity to succeed. Every day that you persist despite challenges, you're developing the character that wealth requires. Walt Disney faced bankruptcy, business failures, and countless rejections before creating the Disney Empire. But Disney maintained faith in his vision, even when others couldn't see it. He famously said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." His persistent faith eventually created one of the most beloved and valuable entertainment companies in history. Your faith in your wealth-building journey must be stronger than any temporary setback. Your belief in your ultimate success must be more powerful than any current evidence to the contrary. Your confidence in the process must be more consistent than the ups and downs of daily results. This faith will attract opportunities, people, and resources that support your success. It will give you the courage to take necessary risks and the strength to persist through challenges. Most importantly, it will help you become the person who naturally attracts and maintains wealth. If you've found value in this journey we've taken together, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and share it with others who could benefit from these principles. We're building a community of people committed to transforming their financial lives through the power of rich thinking. Your engagement helps us reach more people with these life-changing ideas. As we conclude, let me remind you of the extraordinary transformation that's available to you. You started this experience as one person, and you can leave it as a completely different person. A person who thinks rich thoughts automatically. A person who makes decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. A person who sees opportunities instead of obstacles. A person who operates from faith instead of fear. The principles you've learned today aren't just theories or concepts. They're proven, practical tools that have created more wealth than any other methods in human history. But knowledge without application is worthless. Information without implementation creates no transformation. Your journey to wealth begins the moment you start thinking differently. It accelerates when you start acting differently. It becomes inevitable when you become different. The wealthy person you're destined to become is already inside you, waiting to be awakened by your decision to think rich thoughts consistently. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can think the same thoughts that created your current financial situation, or you can think the thoughts that will create your desired financial future. You can operate from the old programming that has kept you limited, or you can install new programming that will set you free. The universe is abundant beyond measure. There is more than enough wealth for everyone, including you. The only question is whether you'll develop the thinking patterns that allow you to claim your share. The only limitation is the limitation in your own mind. Starting today, begin thinking rich thoughts. See yourself as already wealthy. Act as the successful person you're becoming. Make decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. Create value for others and trust that money will flow back to you multiplied. Invest in your education and skills. Take calculated risks. Build multiple income streams. Surround yourself with success-minded people. Maintain unshakable faith in your ultimate success. These aren't just suggestions. These are the fundamental requirements for wealth creation. Everyone who has ever built significant wealth has applied these principles, consciously or unconsciously. Everyone who remains poor has violated these principles, knowingly or unknowingly. The choice is yours. The power is in your hands. The time is now. Your wealthy life is waiting for you to claim it through the consistent application of rich thinking. Remember, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Become wealthy in your mind, and wealth will flow into your life. Think rich thoughts, and rich results will follow. This is not just possibility. This is promise. This is not just hope. This is certainty. Your transformation begins now. Your wealthy life begins today. Think rich and become rich. The universe is ready to support your success. The only question is, are you ready to receive it? Before you go, please subscribe to this channel and share this message with someone who could benefit from these principles. Together, we're creating a community of abundant thinkers who are transforming not just their own financial lives, but the financial lives of everyone they influence. Your journey to wealth starts with a single thought. Make that thought rich and make it now. The wealthy life you desire is not just possible, It's inevitable when you align your thinking with the principles of wealth attraction. Think rich, be rich, live rich. Your time is now. Champions, your mind has been forged a little stronger today, but the real test isn't what you learned, it's what you do with it. Take action, dominate your day, and remember, we're not just building better thoughts, we're forging unstoppable lives. The forge doesn't stop, and neither do you. If this episode hit you where it counts, subscribe to Mental Forge Academy and join the Brotherhood of Champions who refuse to settle for ordinary. Go transform, strike while the mind is hot.